Thanks for the opportunity of talking to me.
It's our pleasure to be here.
Well, no, thanks. You have no idea how much I'm still having some trouble believing this is real. So the guy who you've made so many movies that I watched with my kids, and you've been in my history, guy. Man, you have no idea. One thing I was expecting from this movie was a moment where you would kick a dragon and say, "This is Burke." But that didn't happen.
I asked for it, but he said, no, it's been done. But I want to do that in every movie, an opportunity to kick somebody and scream something. But
this is something.
This is, yeah.
Well, it would be cool. It would be cool. But talking about this movie, first of all, how did you feel when Universal went and asked you guys to be in this this live action of How to Train a Dragon? How did you feel,
Well, my first instinct was I felt like a hypocrite because I had publicly said that I don't like this trend.
I read that.
Of making live action films out of animated classics, in part because I'm an animator. Mm-hmm. And so it always felt like an insult to the medium that they would just come in with a whole new group of people and create a film on the shoulders of all the hard work that was done to make it a classic in the first place. But in this case, Universal came to me. They didn't go to another director. They went to the person who had been involved in writing and directing the original. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, this is an opportunity to maybe put my convictions to the test because I do think we could make the story richer and we could make the relationships stronger and the characterization deeper and expand the mythology and use all of the tools and the language of live action to make it more immersive, by creating this sort of grounded reality where photoreal dragons could mix among humans. And so the idea of Gerard Butler stepping into the role of Stoic, but for real, with all of that mass and
Stoic the vast.
Yeah.
Right?
Stoico immenso.
Stoico o immenso.
Oh, Stoic o immenso.
Yes. But in the movie, you seem a little more vast, right?
Yeah.
Is it because of the?
No. I'm so committed as an actor that I put on 300 extra pounds, which I then had to lose right after. No, not. No. Weirdly, I didn't put as much thought into it as I thought. I just knew. I was, of course, going to make this movie. I wasn't going to not work with Dean again and not have a chance to fill those boots. But it wasn't until I got there and they started putting the costume on that I went, didn't think of this. I'd forgotten that I was 5 feet wide and, literally about 400 pounds. So my costume was really heavy. It was like 90 pounds when I had my axe and my shield. And that was a lot to deal with. I remember the first costume fitting was 4 hours long. And by the end, my back was breaking. And I don't know if I told you this, but I literally was like, this movie is huge and it's going to fall apart. And it's going to be all over the press. You panic. Worst case scenario, it's going to be all over the press because Jerry Butler can't wear the costume. So then it was weight vests every day in the hotel, everywhere to get used to that weight. And then I grew to love it because it was immenso.
Yes.
And I could transform. Like once I put that on, once I stepped into this world that they built.
How different it is from voicing Stoic and then being Stoic, there's especially many years after that, many years from the first time.
I mean, it's different, obviously. In some ways, you are pretty clear, because you are now, it's all of you, it's every movement. It's how you, there's no hiding behind anything, whereas in the studio. However, I mean, you remember this moment way back when we were making the animated movies. And when you showed me this, it really helped because I always thought, it's just my voice in the animation. And I always questioned why they had cameras in the room. We're talking years ago. And then one day, it was Christoph, my chief animator. He showed me the animated Stoic in a scene. I think it was that one. Odin, it was rough. And then they showed me what I did. And everything, my facial expression, Odin, it was rough. I almost gave up. And I went, oh, damn, there's a lot more of me in there, which helped my confidence in the animated movies. But yes, to step into this and both appreciate the opportunity and the challenges of having to give a much more layered and real and truthful performance, and where, yeah, it's kind of all on your shoulders, literally.
Yes, 90 pounds. That's a lot on your shoulders.
It was a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But it felt amazing to stand there, to walk
so,
out, and nobody else had that kind of costume. To stand out there in front of hundreds of Vikings going, yeah, he's definitely the chief. He's definitely a warrior, has that power. And then to use all of that, and then also to play small and to go everything in between, it was great.
Cool.